The DTM version of ProCogo XL can now calculate volume, including cut and fill for spoil piles, borrow pits, and other earthwork projects. The process begins by creating two surfaces, one for the natural ground and the second one for finished ground. These are then compared to create a third surface that provides the cut and fill. This surface here will be our natural ground surface, and of course it's made up of shots that were taken before any grading was done. Next, I'm going to create a second surface, and this is for the gravel road that was placed here. I have the shots for this road on a hidden layer, so I'll make those visible now. And I'm also going to turn off the triangles for this surface to make this a little clearer to see. And there are my points. Next, I'm going to start the command to create the second surface. And I'll select the points, give it a name, and there it is. Now I'm going to change the color of this so it's a little easier to see. So here you can see the road, but the triangulation down here is not part of the project. So I'm going to create a custom boundary so that this surface is limited to only the parts that are relevant to the project. To do this, I'm going to use the tract command. I'm going to change my line type a little bit different so you can see it. I'll start the tract command, and I'm just going to put this boundary in right along here. Of course, in your actual project, you might want to be a little more precise. And now I need to attach the boundary to the surface. So to recap our progress so far, we now have two surfaces. The first one is of the original natural ground, and it's currently turned off. The second surface is this one, which represents the road after it's been excavated or finished ground. Now we're ready to do the volume calculations. We will do this by creating a special kind of surface called a volume surface. Instead of using XYZ points, the volume surface will be created by comparing the prismoidal differences between our other two surfaces. So I'll start the command, then give the new surface a name, and then here I will enter the two surfaces that we want to compare. And there it is. Let's turn off those points again to make it a little easier to see. So now if we go to the DTM menu, we can look at the cut and fill report. Here we have the total cut and the total fill along with the overall volume. If desired, we can also apply a shrink and swell factor, and those would be displayed here. Now let's turn on the real-time elevation tracking. Now when I move my mouse across the surface, down in the lower left corner where the coordinate display is, we can see the cut and fill as the mouse passes over it. Suppose I want to label the cut or fill. To do that, I'll select the spot elevation command, select my surface, and then place the labels wherever they need to be. So to recap, we've created two surfaces, one for natural ground and one for finished ground. Next, we created a third surface called a volume surface, and it was created by comparing the differences between our natural and finished ground surfaces. From there, we can see the overall cut and fill as well as label individual cut and fill locations.